Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, former President Donald Trump is back in court as his hush money trial enters its 11th day. And pro-Palestinian protesters continue to occupy university campuses across the country as police move in to clear out some of the encampments.
Plus, rain chances continue for the weekend and next week. More details on your soggy forecast as Mountain News at 5:30 starts now.
Dedicated to southern and eastern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 5:30.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Donald Trump's 2016 campaign press secretary testified today in the former president's criminal hush money trial. The jury also saw and heard some of Trump's responses to the infamous Access Hollywood tape. CBS's Bradley Blackburn reports from New York.
As former President Trump left court Friday afternoon, he used it as a campaign stop.
Our country has gone to hell. We're a nation in decline.
But he didn't comment about testimony from one of his closest aides, his 2016 campaign press secretary, Hope Hicks. Friday, Hicks broke down on the stand while being questioned by Trump's lawyers, and the judge ordered a short break. Earlier, she told jurors about the Trump inner circle reaction when the Access Hollywood tape was released a month before Election Day. Judge Merchan has ruled jurors will not see or hear the tape, but they read the transcript in which Trump was caught saying he could grab women by their private areas. From the stand, Hicks testified he said that didn't sound like something he would say. The early strategy was deny, deny, deny. She went on to tell jurors there was consensus among us all that the tape was damaging and this was a crisis. Hicks also testified Trump told her his former lawyer, Michael Cohen, paid porn star Stormy Daniels to protect him from a false allegation, saying he did it out of the kindness of his heart. Hicks told the jury, "I would say that would be out of character for Michael. I don't know Michael to be an especially charitable person."
She's there so that she can say to the jurors, yes, this was about trying to make sure that the public did not hear this story before the election. What the defense is going to try and do is say, are you sure you understood? Are you sure you were there for the key moments?
On the stand, Hicks also said Trump was concerned about his wife Melania Trump's reaction to the Access Hollywood tape. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
The judge also clarified today that the former president's gag order does not prevent him from testifying. The independent accounting firm that represented Trump Media has been charged with fraud. The Securities and Exchange Commission announced charges against B.F. Borgers, accusing the firm of widespread fraud and operating a sham audit mill. The SEC has not claimed any wrongdoing against Trump Media, and the company is not mentioned in the charges from the regulator. The SEC said the fraud impacted more than 500 public companies in addition to Trump Media. Alabama lawmakers have passed legislation to clear the way for President Biden to appear on the state's November ballot. It comes after the Republican Secretary of State warned state Democrats they might miss a state deadline to formally name him as their nominee. That's because the Democratic National Convention takes place August 19th through the 22nd after the state certification deadline of August 15th. Texas Congressman Henry Cuellar and his wife have been charged with accepting nearly $600,000 in bribes. Today, the Justice Department filed an indictment against the Cuellars in federal court. The U.S. representative and his wife are alleged to have taken substantial bribes from two foreign entities. Some of the funding was allegedly funneled through a Mexican bank. The FBI searched Cuellar's home in Laredo in 2022 as part of an investigation into Azerbaijan. An award-winning Mississippi school teacher has been accused of inappropriate conduct with students. 34-year-old Tyler Shows turned himself in to the Petal Police Department yesterday. The former fifth-grade teacher is charged with 2 felony counts of touching a child for lustful purposes and 1 misdemeanor of dissemination of sexually explicit material to a minor. Police say there are at least 3 male victims tied to the claims. Violent crime in the U.S. continued to trend down in the first quarter of 2024. That's according to a new report from the Major Cities Chiefs Association. Dozens of police agencies reported fewer incidents of homicide, rape, robbery, and aggravated assault in the first quarter of 2024 compared to the same period last year. While violent crime is still more prevalent than it was pre-pandemic, the data follows a general downward trend in violent crime during the past few years.
After some sunny and warm weather on Wednesday and Thursday, we are tracking some more clouds and some more rain chances to close out the work week. Let's go to First Alert Pinpoint Doppler. Some good news, no severe weather on this Friday. Also, no heavy rainfall issues right now, but we are tracking some light showers across eastern Kentucky, also pushing into southwest Virginia and southern West Virginia. Let's zoom into the Big Sandy Valley. Some light showers close to downtown Pikeville, also moving into Wise, Dickinson, and Buchanan counties in Virginia, and a few more showers close to Louisa and Lawrence County, and moving into Mingo, Logan, and Wayne counties over in West Virginia. Still watching out for this cluster of thunderstorms over south central Kentucky, and that will continue pushing off to the north and east over the next hour or two, and that may come into contact with places close to Lake Cumberland. So if you know anyone that's on the lake this afternoon or this evening, be sure to let them know a thunderstorm is not too far away over the next hour or two there. Those current temperatures not as warm on this Friday, up to 72 in Jackson, 71 for Pikeville, up to 75 in Somerset, also in London. Most of us see lows in the middle to lower 60s to wake up in the morning as more hit or miss rain showers are on the way. And rain chances also continue for this weekend. More details on that forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. Universities across the country are calling in the police more and more to clear out pro-Palestinian encampments, but the demonstrators say they will continue to protest the war between Israel and Hamas. CBS's Willie James Inman has more from Washington, D.C.
Don't do it! Peaceful protesters inside, don't do it!
New York City police moved in on the campuses of the City University of New York, NYU, and the New School in Manhattan Friday morning, clearing out protest campsites and arresting dozens of demonstrators.
I arrived around 7:45 to see police with riot gear standing in front of this building. Then I walked down the block and there were buses and hundreds of police.
This follows an incident earlier this week where a New York City officer's gun accidentally discharged while clearing out protesters at Columbia University.
In this case, the bullet landed on the floor of the office and didn't travel anywhere else, so it was apparent that it had struck no one.
Tensions have been high at times as police moved out protesters on campuses across the country. This is what it looked like at UCLA as police moved in early Thursday morning. And this is what it looks like now. The encampments are gone, but the protests will likely continue.
I think that police uphold the system of oppression, and obviously it's not right. They're just upholding the status quo. So we need to resist, and we need to keep protesting.
At the George Washington University in Washington, D.C., these students say they will stay until they are forced to move out. Are you concerned for your safety if police are called in?
Absolutely. It's a scary thing to see. I have friends at Columbia. It's terrifying to see what's happening in a country that claims to value free speech.
Administrators say they are trying to ensure the safety of their campuses, especially as graduation ceremonies are set to begin. Willie James Inman, CBS News, Washington.
House Republicans in Congress say they are planning hearings to look into university responses to the protests as part of their campaign against anti-Semitism. A bowling alley in Maine reopened today, 6 months after the worst mass shooting in that state's history. Just in Time Bowling welcomed a packed crowd in Lewiston today. The shooting on October 25, 2023 there and a second location claimed the lives of 18 people. It marked the worst mass shooting in the U.S. in 2023. 8 of the victims were shot at the bowling alley. The couple who owns it wrestled with the decision but decided they would reopen. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, we find out if a device that's designed to help you level, measure, and mark things does what it's supposed to do.
Plus, your derby plans may be a little bit soggy. Those details coming up.